In this section, we will delve into Cynefin Framework as a tool for classifying problems and determining the optimal situation for utilizing Agile methodology. Created by Dave Snowden, Cynefin Framework is a decision-making tool used in complex environments. The Cynefin Framework allows you to categorize problems into different domains, which can help you understand the nature of the problem you're trying to solve. This can help you select the most appropriate approach or method for addressing the problem. Now let's look at each domain individually. First, simple domain, where problems are well understood and solutions are evident and straightforward. Completing tasks require minimal skills or expertise. Therefore, the approach is to understand the task at hand, apply the tried and tested method, and follow a set of instructions. For example, following a set of instructions and recipe to cook a meal. An example of simple situation in Cynefin Framework might be the fixing of a minor bug in an application. The cause and effect relationship between the bug and the outcome is clear, and the development team knows exactly what needs to be done to fix the issue. Next one is the complicated domain, where you're likely to know the questions. Here the challenges are multifaceted and require specialized knowledge to understand and solve. Identifying and addressing the issue requires a deep understanding of the subject matter and the ability to evaluate multiple options and select the most appropriate one. In the complicated domain, there are multiple possible ways to approach the problem, and there may be multiple right answers. Experts can provide guidance and advice, and it may be necessary to conduct research and gather data to fully understand the problem and choose an option to proceed. For example, let's say a Scrum team is developing a new application that needs to integrate with multiple external systems. The team has identified several possible approaches to the integration, but they are not sure which approach will be the most effective. They have also identified several potential risks associated with the integration, including data security and performance issues. In this situation, the team is operating in the complicated domain of the Cynefin Framework. The cause and effect relationship between the integration approach and the outcome is not immediately obvious, and the team needs to rely on analysis and expertise to determine the best approach.
I'm having trouble understanding this complicated issue. How do you approach something like this?
Well, it depends on the problem. In a complicated domain, there are multiple possible ways to approach the problem, and there may be multiple right answers. It requires specialized knowledge and expertise to identify and address the issue.
That makes sense. How do you evaluate the different options?
One way is to conduct research or gather data to fully understand the problem and choose an option to proceed. It's also important to consult with experts who can provide guidance and advice.
Have you ever encountered a complicated problem that was difficult to solve?
Yes, I remember a project where we had to design a new product with multiple functions and features. We had to evaluate different materials, technologies, and designs to come up with the best solution.
What did you learn from that experience?
I learned that complicated problems require patience, persistence, and creativity. It's important to keep an open mind and be willing to consider different perspectives and ideas.
Thanks for your insights. It's good to know that there are ways to approach complicated problems.
You're welcome. Remember, it takes time and effort to understand and solve complicated problems, but it's worth it in the end.
Third is the complex domain. This domain is characterized by a high level of uncertainty and unpredictability, with many interconnected factors and variables that can influence the outcome. In the complex domain, there are no easy solutions, and it is difficult to predict the outcome of different actions or interventions. Instead of relying on analysis and expertise, the focus in the complex domain is on experimentation, exploration, and emergent solutions. For example, the development team is developing a new feature for their application that involves integration with artificial intelligence to improve the user experience. The team has identified several possible approaches to the integration, but they are not sure which approach will be the most effective. They have also identified several potential risks associated with the integration, including potential data privacy concerns and lack of user adoption. To address this issue, the development team might conduct research, develop prototypes, and run experiments to explore different integration approaches and evaluate their potential impact on the user experience. They might also engage with the user groups or experts in AI to gain deeper understanding of the potential risks and opportunities associated with the integration.
Have you delved into the concept of the complex domain in problem solving?
Yes, somewhat. It's where predictability is low and cause and effect relationships are only clear in hindsight, isn't it?
Precisely. In this domain, straightforward solutions are rare and predicting outcomes is challenging. It's more about learning through experimentation, adapting as you go, and allowing solutions to emerge organically.
Interesting. Could you provide a practical example to illustrate this?
Absolutely. Consider a tech company exploring new AI-driven features for their product. The outcome of integrating such cutting-edge tech is uncertain. They face challenges like ensuring user privacy and encouraging user adoption, among others.
So, how should they approach this?
They'd start with small-scale experiments or prototypes to test various AI integration strategies, assessing each for user experience and privacy concerns. This might involve iterative feedback loops with users or consulting AI specialists to understand risks and opportunities better. It's a dynamic process of probing, sensing, and then responding based on the insights gained. So, in essence, dealing with the complex domain demands an approach that embraces uncertainty and focuses on adaptive learning. It's about probing with small experiments, sensing the outcomes, and responding appropriately.
I see. It's about being agile and not just relying on established methods but actively experimenting and sensing to gain a deeper understanding of the potential risks and opportunities associated with the complex situation at hand. This organizational culture is essential for navigating such uncertainties.
Exactly. This approach fosters innovation and adaptability, helping to navigate through the intricate landscape of the complex domain.
Fourth domain is the chaotic domain, where things have gone off the rails and an immediate remedy is needed. In a chaotic situation, there may be a sense of urgency or crisis, and it may be difficult to identify the root cause of the problem or to know what action to take to address it. Focus on stabilizing the situation by taking immediate action to mitigate the damage and prevent further harm. Therefore, the approach is to take action to control and then assess the situation and decide about the next steps. For example, a major bug may have been discovered that is causing the application to crash or behave unpredictably, or there may be security breaches that is compromising user data. In this situation, the development team may be faced with a rapidly changing and unpredictable environment where there is no clear solution or obvious path forward. The team may need to act quickly to bring the situation under control, but they cannot rely on pre-existing plans or procedures, as these may not be effective in the current context. The team would need to work together to identify the root cause of the problem and develop a plan to address it and determine a long-term plan.
Have you ever been in a chaotic situation where everything seems to be going wrong, and you don't know what to do?
Yes, I have. It was during a major software release, and we discovered a critical bug that was causing the application to crash. We had to act fast to prevent further damage and fix the problem as soon as possible.
That sounds stressful. What did you do?
First, we gathered the development team and identified the root cause of the problem. Then, we developed a plan to fix the bug and tested it thoroughly before releasing the update. We also communicated with our customers and kept them informed of the situation and the steps we were taking to address it.
Did it work?
Yes, it did. We were able to stabilize the situation and prevent further damage. We also learned some valuable lessons about the importance of testing and communication in a crisis situation.
What would you do differently if you were in a similar situation again?
I would make sure to have a clear plan in place for handling crisis situations and ensure that everyone on the team knows their role and responsibilities. I would also prioritize communication and keep all stakeholders informed of the situation and the steps we are taking to address it.
That's great advice. Thanks for sharing your experience.
You're welcome. Remember, in a chaotic situation, it's essential to take immediate action to mitigate the damage and prevent further harm. Once the situation is stabilized, you can assess the situation and develop a plan to address the root cause of the problem.
Next is the disorder domain. That is the one in the middle, where the problem or challenge is not well understood and there is a lack of clear direction. The initial focus is to gather information and gain a better understanding of the situation. The approach is to conduct research and consult experts in order to identify potential paths forward. For example, the team may be trying to develop a new feature or product that requires integration with multiple systems or technologies that are not well understood or well documented. Rather than trying to develop a comprehensive solution up front, the development team may need to prototype and test different solutions to see what works and what doesn't. This can help the team to uncover hidden assumptions or blind spots that may contribute to the confusion and ambiguity.
I'm working on a project, and I feel like I'm in a disorder domain. I'm not sure where to start or what direction to take. Do you have any advice?
Yes, disorder domains can be challenging, but there are ways to navigate them. The first step is to gather information and gain a better understanding of the situation. What do you know so far?
Well, we're trying to integrate multiple systems and technologies, but they're not well understood or well documented. We're not even sure if it's possible to do what we want to do.
I see. In that case, the approach is to conduct research and consult experts to identify potential paths forward. Have you talked to anyone who has experience with similar projects?
No, not yet. Who should I talk to?
You could start with industry experts or consultants who specialize in the technologies you're working with. You could also reach out to other companies or organizations that have tackled similar projects. They may be able to share their experiences and insights with you.
That's a good idea. What about prototyping and testing different solutions? Would that help?
Absolutely. Prototyping and testing can help you uncover hidden assumptions or blind spots that may be contributing to the confusion and ambiguity. It can also help you identify what works and what doesn't, so you can refine your approach and make progress.
Thanks for the advice. I'm going to try those things and see how it goes.
You're welcome. Remember, disorder domains can be frustrating, but with the right approach, you can find your way through them and come out stronger on the other side.
Now, Based on what we have learned so far in this lesson, let's examine how the Cynefin Framework could help us decide on our course of action. Here is a simplified depiction of which method to use in which situation. Based on clarity of the requirements and understanding of the solutions, one can decide which approach is best suited for the solution. In simple and complicated projects, the requirements are clear and approach is known. Here, a waterfall methodology can be followed to manage the project. But we need to be careful not to become complacent and apply solutions that worked previously elsewhere. This could rapidly move the project situation to chaotic and spiral out of control or difficult and expensive to recover. Software development projects are often on the border of complicated and complex, where the details of requirements are yet to be defined and the solutions to be determined. Therefore, this is where the Agile approach is most appropriate.
In conclusion, the Cynefin Framework is a valuable tool for leaders and teams to better understand and navigate complex and dynamic environments. By providing a clear and structured approach to problem solving, the Cynefin Framework can help to identify the underlying factors that are contributing to a problem and determine the appropriate approach to addressing it. Whether dealing with simple, complicated, complex, chaotic, or disordered domain, the Cynefin Framework provides a practical and actionable guide for leaders and teams to make sense of their situation and develop effective strategies to achieve their goals. Thank you for exploring the Cynefin Framework with us. Remember, understanding the nature of your challenges is the first step to effective problem solving. Embrace Cynefin's insights to navigate the complexities of your world with confidence and clarity. Until next time, keep adapting and evolving.
And thank you for tuning in and watching our content. We appreciate your time and engagement. Please comment, like, subscribe and share your views with us and fellow viewers. Thank you for being a part of our online community.